Amy Chomas asked me to make a little tutorial for you on designing for the new engraving tip, the blunt tip, and it gives you a beautiful, nice, solid fill. So what I'm doing is I'm doing an internal offset on a letter, about 4 points in. I'm hitting apply, and then I'm going to pull it to the side, and I'm going to change the color to pink. I always use colors for different tips, so this color is going to be for the blunt engraver, and the blue is going to be for the sharp engraver. I'm going to quickly duplicate and show you an easy way to do this using some of the new curio fills. I'm going to go to the Embossing Fills, and I'm going to go down and choose the crosshatch. And those of you that have taken my deciphering class, you know we use the crosshatch a lot. This is a new way to do it. I'm going to release the emboss. I also took it down quite a bit, the spacing, and I'm going to turn one of them to pink. So what I'm doing is I'm going to put that on top of the original. So I'm going to use the sharp embosser all the way around, or sharp engraver, and then I'm going to put the pink inside and do the blunt. And you'll see with the final results after I show you it working on the machine how nicely the inside of these letters look. And it's going to give us a lot better quality pieces when we're using text or any kind of fill. So the way I'm going to do it is I'm going to do an internal offset on the pink, which is the blunt engraver. I always take it down to 0, and then I'm going to go up 1 point. Actually, I was going to go 2, but I'm going to go 1 point on the first one, and then I'm going to go 0.2 points on the others. And this is 0.2 using millimeters. You could also use inches, and it would be 0.001 and 0.002. So I'm going to fill the entire thing in. And with the blunt tip, the lines don't have to be quite so close together because the tip is thicker at the point. So I'm going to make that a compound path. And now I'm going to take the blue one, which is the sharp etcher, and I'm just going to make a couple 0.1 millimeter internal offsets. You probably don't need to make more than just one, but I kind of wanted to use the sharp on the outside, and I'm going to make this a compound path, and then I'm going to use the blunt etcher on the inside. I'm going to duplicate that blunt etcher because I'm going to do it another way too. And then I just tuck that right in, and I group this together, and you'll see the second example that I'm going to show you at the very end is using this particular design. It's not quite as deep as the one I'm going to show you right now, or as deep as the Hatchville one. So on this one, I'm going to speed it up. I'm going to do an internal offset. The first one I'm doing at 0.1, but the rest I'm going to do at 0.2. And I've sped it up so it's going to go scoot through it really quick. And I'm going to make that a compound path. And then I'm going to go ahead and move the blunt engraver design on top of it. So in this case, I'm using the sharp engraver for the whole thing, then I'm going back over it. And I think this is a slightly deeper etch than using the one we just designed, which is using the sharp on the outside and the blunt one on the inside. So those are our two options, and we also have the one where we used a Hatchville. So here's what I'm going to print. So I'm going to print one using the sharp engraver, one using the first design we did, and one using the sharp engraver over the whole piece and the blunt engraver on the inside. And you'll see exactly how that turns out. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go to Advanced Cut Settings. I'm going to put my sharp engraver in the right, which is what I always do, and I don't need that black line, it's just a placement line. And then I'm going to use a pressure of about 10. And that's not very deep, so you can go much, much deeper. And then I'm going to use a pressure of 15 for the blunt etcher. And you're going to see here, I put a little rubber band on the blunt etcher. It seems to increase the pressure. It's a little child's rubber band. And so what it's doing is it's doing all the sharp engraving first, and then it's going to go back over and do all the blunt engraver. And you'll see the difference as soon as I brush it off, of how, actually even before I brush it off, that how it smoothed the design quite a bit. And this is great for enameling chambers. You can enamel the inside of, if you went a little deeper, a little inside of these. You never know till you brush off the dust. And so here you go. You can see the top one just is really not as smooth, and the other two are just beautiful.